pulses are the edible seed of a legume plant. So it's a great big family. And here in Alberta, the plants that we grow would include peas, dry beans, lentils, chickpeas, faba beans, and we also grow soybeans. But one of the things about pulses that's different about the other crops is, when we say canola, you can grow canola from southern Alberta all the way up to northern Alberta. Pulses are a little bit different because there's definite environments and ecozones where they are suitable for and where they actually don't do so well. Peas is a really kind of simple example because you can grow it in southern Alberta and all the way up into the Peace Country. A crop like dry beans, so pinto beans or navy beans, those grow under irrigation in southern Alberta. Chickpeas kind of like it hot and dry, and so they grow along the Saskatchewan border in southern Alberta. And lentils kind of grow along the eastern edge, probably all the way from southern Alberta, up as high as Lloydminster even. Depending on where you are in the province kind of determines what your environment is, which kind of determines which pulses you can grow. Most crops in Alberta, whether it's pulses or any other kind of crop, are planted in the ground in the springtime. There's a number of factors that determine the actual time that we put them into the ground. Frost has to be gone. It can't be too wet. In some cases, it can be a little bit too dry. The challenge that we face is winter is coming. So we know we only have a small window to get our seeds into the ground. One of the really easy triggers is to look at soil temperature. For pulse crops, particularly, we have a huge advantage because we can plant them into quite cool soils. About 5 degrees Celsius is kind of the trigger for most pulse crops. Dry beans are the exception. In southern Alberta, when you plant dry beans, you want the soil a little bit warmer, to 10 degrees. But peas and faba beans and lentils and chickpeas can all go into the soil right around that 5 degrees Celsius. Peas will start to flower middle about June. You'll start to see those little pods that are so yummy to eat in kind of the beginning of July. And as you go through July and into August, the plant puts all its energy into filling those pods or making the little peas. Their individual goal is to make more seeds so that more plants can grow. And part of the process is making sure that those seeds are dry enough that they will store without going moldy or just spoiling. That's kind of how we know when to harvest, is we just keep checking what we would say is the moisture content of those seeds. Think about a nice green pea, and it's lush, there's lots of water in it, they taste yummy, and slowly, the water will go out and they'll become hard to bite, and eventually you can't even break them in half with your teeth. Then we know we're getting really close to harvest time. The plants by this point are fairly brown, a little bit crispy, and that's when we know when it's ready to harvest. Now, the cool thing about plant protein and technology is that we can take a pea seed and we can break it into parts. So we can either grind it up and use it as a flour. Actually, there's a lot of breads and crackers that will use flour from pulse crops. And what that does is it increases the protein in whatever product that you're eating. The other cool thing we can do is we can take it and we can break it into fiber and starch and protein. So there's some really cool ways that we can use pulses just by splitting them into the components that they have. If you like vermicelli noodles often will use the pea starch component. And we're finding the fiber bit is really great in nutraceuticals. Everybody needs fiber because we need to stay regular. As technology increases and as food developers get more creative and want to put something that's really healthy in their product, but also really good for the environment, pulses have a really low carbon footprint. It's kind of a win-win. High protein, low carbon footprint, good food for us.